well swim. The world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it and I'll never get bored. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see, so much wrong with taking the back streets. You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. Only shooting stars break the mold. It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You're funneled up now, wait till you get older. But the media men beg to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. The world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I'll never get bored. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see, so much wrong with taking the back streets. You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. Only shooting stars break the mold. It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You're funneled up now, wait till you get older. But the media men beg to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin.
Hi, hello, fellow freedom seekers. Oh my goodness, welcome to our caravan. Welcome on 12th of February. We are very busy here on site in Mill Park. This is a live stream and we are streaming on 12th of Feb on Sunday, and if you are watching a replay you can still leave us thumbs up and you can still comment on this video, so please feel free. And if you are watching it on any other day, please let us know in the comments when you are watching and where you are watching, so I can see there are 3 people with me live today. Lovely to see you. Excellent. I'm really happy you are here. So the strong team, Wujek Carmel, Damian and Sue from Stoke. Hello, I can always count on you guys every weekend. It's fantastic you are here with me again. How was your weekend? For most of people, weekend is coming to an end right now, but for us it's about to begin. So as you can see, Diesel is behind me. He's recovering very well from his basically two surgeries. He had 2 treatments. He's healing very well, so thank you thank you all for sending us good wishes for him. We let him know, and as you can see, he's chilling. He's almost back to normal. He's eating normally, he's sleeping a lot, and he's healing great. So we are super happy about that. Yes, we've done the last shift of the week today. It's been a busy one. So today I would like to tell you a little bit what we've been up to at work, how we are preparing the site for opening, and we are opening in 2.5 weeks. In March, we are opening on 1st of March, which is on Wednesday. This is a funny day to open a campsite for the season, Wednesday, 1st of March. That's close, that's close. We are super excited because this weekend's been the first busier weekend on site, and we've had quite a lot of people. We had quite many seasonals come into their caravans. We also had a full restaurant of people, which was a lovely view after a quiet winter. So things get very busy, things are getting busy. So we've been working with other teams on preparing the site. So I'll tell you a little bit of what we were doing in the last week at work, and then I have some stories about the campsites, as you can read in the title. So I would like to tell you about 3 the best sites we've been to, and each of them is a bit different. So they are in 3 different countries as well. And none of them is in the UK. Wow, that's gonna be interesting. So these are of course memories from our motorhome trip, and I told you a little bit about it during the last live stream, how it all began, our life on wheels. So these are the memories from our motorhome trip. Then I will tell you about just one site we've been to, which was a letdown. And finally, I would like to ask you, and you can start thinking about it, how you choose a site for yourself. Do you book? Do you plan? Do you do your research, or do you just turn up? So this is my idea for today's evening. So please join in, please comment on the chat. You are very welcome to ask me questions, to share your stories. We would really like to hear your stories about your favorite campsites as well. Right, so let's get on with work stuff. So work's been busy. We've been basically tidying up after winter still. So there was a lot of raking, a lot of branches to prune, a lot of picking up, and basically clearing pitches for our guests. So it hasn't been a glamorous week. We've been working in muddy boots. Sometimes our boots got wet, but we were okay. So it was a bit tricky this week because mornings were frosty and cold. Then we had the sun. Luckily we had the sun shining at noon, so we had this lovely sunny window when working outside was a pleasure, and even raking lawns and picking up branches was a pleasure. So we had a busy day today. But the site is looking better by the day. Many people work on this with us, and we work with them together. So we will be ready for 1st of March. We are super excited to welcome the guests. We already have our seasonal guests with us here on site, but we are super excited to greet the new faces and new people. We will be ready. We will be ready for 1st of March. And also we spent a lot of time this week taking care of Diesel, who's recovering after his op. Okay, so let's get to the point. I can see there are 6 thumbs up, and there are 6 people with me, and I only heard from 3 on the chat. So please don't be shy. If you are not sure what to write on the chat, just write hi. Hi, who is here with me? So if you are not sure what to write, maybe it's your first time on live, we are a very friendly bunch, and the idea is that we spend some time together, and I talk to you, you write to me, and hopefully we'll have a nice evening together. So I assume that everyone who's watching me and listening to me now is interested in either camping or caravanning or van life. So what were 3 the nicest sites we've been to with Marek and Diesel? Yeah, Diesel has been with us on all these sites. This dog was sleeping behind me. So our absolute number 1 is campsite or camping Monte Bianco, Mont Blanc really. However, the site is on the Italian, the campsite is on the Italian side of Mont Blanc. That's why it's called Monte Bianco. So this been one of the nicest campsites on which we visited on our motorhome trip back in 2018. And campsite Monte Bianco is located really high up, and it was a bit of a gamble to get there. If I remember correctly, it was over 1500 meters above the sea level. So an amazing rural campsite in mountains in the Alps. Breathtaking views, really good facilities. We really liked a shared cooking area, and there was a shared kitchen and a shared eating area, big tables to share. The nature has been amazing. Just a beautiful place. Hi Nicola. Hi. How lovely to hear from you. Is that your first time with us here? So Monte Bianco is just a beautiful place. So when I talk about those campsites and I think about experiences which we had there, part of this amazing experience we had with Monte Bianco campsite is the site, setting, nature, facilities, but also people we met there. So the site was spotless. You had everything you could imagine, really. So apart from the beautiful nature, amazing setting, there was also a pool, bicycles to hire, there was a bar and a shop, and they were welcoming tents, motorhomes. I'm not sure about caravans. I think I saw some caravans there. There were also glam pods with a hot tub outside and amazing wide nature around you. So the place was really fantastic, and you could see and feel that the owners really care about the nature, and I believe their background was either mountain rangers or maybe members of rescue team. They really fitted in the place. They were lovely. Okay, first time on live, but I mostly you're watching the videos. Perfect. Yeah, we noticed over the years that we have two groups of people, those who watch our videos and those who come just for the live stream, and it's quite interesting that sometimes one group doesn't know that we do the other thing. So yes, this is live. You can ask me any question, Nicola. This is not a pre-recorded video. This is a live stream on 12th of Feb at 7:10 p.m. in the UK. Yes, so this is what I look like and what our caravan looks like in the real life. I can also have a sip of tea to prove this is all live. Okay, so Monte Bianco. Monte Bianco was fantastic. So if any of you gets really interested in those places I mentioned today, I will leave you links to those sites in the description of this video, so you can follow up and you can see more. So the site's been fantastic, and we've been really lucky because we also met amazing people there. We made friends. We only stayed there for I think 2 nights, and this is a campsite which is on the Italian side. It's in Italy, but it's almost on the border with France. So we were on our way back from Italy, and we met a couple who was going to Italy. They were traveling in the opposite direction, and we met on this campsite. So it was a lovely couple, I think a bit younger than us, from the Netherlands. I'm really ashamed, but I can't remember their names. So they were traveling in a small car with a tent, and we were in a motorhome. And the way we met, they simply came to us and asked for a mullet. They needed a mullet to pitch their tent, and we ended up talking and having a bonfire together, sharing a few drinks, playing cards in our motorhome, because you have to know that nights were very, very cold. We were high up in mountains, and it was in September. We were comfortable in our motorhome, but they were really cold in their tent, so they tended to spend their evenings with us in our motorhome. It was too cold to sit outside. So we had some really, really good time, I remember we even offered them, if they wanted, they could sleep in our motorhome. We had enough space, really. They could have slept in our motorhome, but they were brave. They said, okay, if it gets really, really cold at night, we will come, but they never came. So these are our memories from Monte Bianco, a beautiful site, one of the most beautiful we've been to. Obviously, it's hard to match a campsite in the Alps with amazing owners dedicated to conservation and also providing all the comforts for their visitors, for their guests. It was a remarkable site. It ticked all the boxes for us. Okay, so this was site number 1. I wonder what's your perfect site? Have you got memories of this amazing site you've been to? Maybe you have a campsite or a holiday park which you love to come back to, or maybe you go to a different place every year. Let me know. So this was our number 1, Monte Bianco in Italy, stroke France, almost in France. The second place which we remember very well was in Spain, is in Spain. And it's not a campsite. I could call it a simple campsite, but it's more like a camper and a motorhome area, motorhome parking in Spain. So this place is called Camper Area 7, and it's in El Campello, and it's just a few miles from Alicante, or actually, probably the British say Alicante. We say Alicante, the Poles say Alicante, and the Spanish say Alicante, or Valencians say Alicante. Alicante, basically. So Camper Area 7 is a simple campsite, but run by lovely people. The receptionist is multilingual. She's a French lady living in Spain, so she speaks French as her first language, Spanish because she's been living in Spain for many years, but she also spoke Dutch and German. So a remarkable young lady, super friendly. And when you look at the photos of Camper Area 7, you will be shocked to see blocks of flats in the background. This is a very unusual location for us to stay. We usually prefer more remote locations, not the center of a town or a city. But El Campello is different. It's a small coastal town, very beautiful. So this area, this campsite is right in the middle of the town. So you can walk to the city center, you can walk to the beach. Facilities were spotless, cleaned twice a day. This was actually the only site, apart from the one where we work, where shower blocks were cleaned twice a day. Have you ever been to a campsite where a shower block is cleaned twice a day? Because we've been, apart from Mill Park where we work, we only saw this practice on one site, and this was Camper Area 7 in El Campello. Facilities were great, spotless shower block, There were washing machines and even washing lines to dry your laundry. Beautiful communal areas, big barbecues, loads of hammocks to rest among the trees. And they were really keen to organize events for their guests. So this is a site just for motorhomes, so no tents, no caravans, and many people were booking their pitch for the whole winter, and they would just come there in their motorhome and spend 3 months on this site and in this area, which I think is a lovely way to spend your winter. So we haven't actually been to one of those events, but we saw photos of, you know, big paellas being cooked and live music on site. So it's a nice site. There is a lot, you know, going on. So what I remember the most was a really friendly, caring owner. I remember there were bicycles to rent and they were super cheap. Everything was really clean and the location was central, so you were close to the tram, close to the beach, you could walk to the shop, everything was within a walking distance. So these are my memories of this site. Really, really nice. So this is camper area 7 in El Campello. If you are ever in Alicante area in your motorhome and you look for a nice place to stop, this will be your place. Right, so there are 8 thumbs up and 8 people are still with me. Hello and welcome. So who hasn't said hi yet? Are you still with me? So let me know, how was your weekend? I'm about to begin my weekend and I had a busy week. And to be honest, when I talk about those sites we've visited in the past, today for me it's hard to believe we've been there. But yeah, we've been there. Really, really good memories. Really good memories. And the third site, which is worth mentioning, yes, these are daffodils. These are the first daffodils from Mill Park. I only brought 3. We have so many of them in the woods, but they don't last very long at home, and it feels almost like a crime to pick them because they will be flowering for weeks in the wild and they last so long outside, and when you bring them home they maybe last a few days. Yeah, do you like the daffodils? Are daffodils in bloom where you are? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Are daffodils in bloom where you are? Yeah, in the UK it's quite normal that they come up at this time of year. But in Poland it will be probably April, maybe March. Yeah, that wasn't planned. That wasn't planned. I only put this top on. I actually bought this top because many years ago one of my students told me I look good in this color. Okay, let's get to the third site. The third site is in France, and again it's a completely different site. A camper parking in Grenay, a camper stop in Grenay. So if you ever want to start van life, don't be put off by how difficult and miserable it is in the UK. Because in the UK, apart from campsites and official sites, there are no facilities. There's no infrastructure for van life. And wild camping is frowned upon and people don't like it, and it is illegal, really, and you can get a ticket and you can get in trouble with the locals quite quickly if you try wild camp in the place which is, you know, quite close to other houses. And in general, if you want to wild camp, you have to stay in some remote location, and luckily and ideally you don't want to be seen by anyone. In France, it's a bit different. France has great infrastructure for motorhomes, and there is a net of camper parkings called camper. I call them camper stops. I think in France they are called aires, or what are they called in French? Aires. I would say aires. So there is one in Grenay, which is a small town in the middle of nowhere, somewhere I think in central France. But this camper stop is different to any other we saw in France, because the normal level, let's say, of service is that you turn up, there is a designated car park for motorhomes in town or in the village. You can stay there usually for free or for a small charge, maybe €5 a night. There is a water tap, there is a point to empty your toilet cassette, so you can do your fresh water, you can do the cassette, and you can get rid of your grey waste, which means you can service your motorhome. There is also a recycling point, and so on. So this is a really good idea. So a bit basic, but you can park there for free or almost for nothing and do service. So it's not as comfortable as staying on a campsite, but in Grenay there was an electric hookup and it was free. Can you imagine that? The town, a small town, was providing not only parking for motorhomes, but also free electricity, which is unthinkable in the UK. Have you ever heard of a free hookup in the UK? I've never heard of it. So this was a nice surprise when we discovered this place. Well, Carmel, in the meantime, you said that your weekend passed very quickly. Ooh, you are, well, I know the feeling, I know the pain when you are a bit behind with filming for your channel. Yeah, guilty as charged. Nicola, I did some preparation for a Fat Thursday, which means making loads of donuts. Hello, Andrew. Fat Thursday. Is this coming up? Is it this Thursday coming? Fat Thursday it's quite a nice tradition if you don't mind eating donuts. So this is a Polish way of. Am I right? Correct me, Nicola, if I'm wrong. This is a day when in Poland people eat a lot of donuts because it's one of the last days before Lent begins and fasting. So of course during these last days before Lent, people stuff themselves with donuts and fat food. So how many donuts did you fry, Nicola? Okay, going back to Grenay. So imagine us traveling in a motorhome when we found this place with a free electric hookup. And I think it was free, we didn't have to pay for parking there. So the town is okay. The car park was in the park, so we had a space to walk diesel. And the way the water tap worked was really interesting because you needed a token, but it wasn't enough to just throw money in it. You needed a special token, and to get a token you had to go to a local shop and do some shopping, so support local business. So we had our tokens from bakery, so each morning we would buy a few baguettes, and with our shopping, if you said you are staying in the car park for motorhomes in Ira, they would give you a token for water and you could fill up your tank with fresh water, which is a genius idea, I think. Great. So you are very welcome to stay in the town of Grenay to get water and to access the water tap. You are expected to support local economy, and the baguettes were delicious. All the cakes in patisseries were amazing. So it's not hard to get your token. Also, there was a very modern library with super fast broadband, which was ideal for us because we wanted to upload our videos online. So maybe, you know, the place itself looks modest. It's a gravel car park in the middle of the town, but there were lovely facilities, and for us it was a perfect place to stay at that time because we had everything we needed. Yeah, so maybe it seems a bit weird to you that we chose this place, and we're really happy about this place because there was really nothing special about it, but for us it was a perfect spot. I think we stayed there a few times during our trips. So 3 different places really in 3 different countries, each of them a bit different. Yeah, so there are so many sites and so many possibilities. So there are not only campsites and holiday parks in places like Spain and France, and Germany. They are very popular in Germany as well. There are those Aires, or they are also called Wohnmobilstellplatz in Germany. There are quite a few of them in Italy as well. And I don't want to be ungrateful because I love living in the UK, but infrastructure for motorhomes and white camping doesn't exist here. So everyone, if you are thinking about a longer trip in a van or in a motorhome, you have to leave the island and go on continent. That would be my advice. Your life will be so much easier on the continent. Andrew, me and my partner have been watching your videos. Very helpful information. Will be coming to Mill Park in a few months. Excellent, fantastic. We are getting ready. We are making it beautiful for you. So when you come, everything will be spick and span. Everything will be lovely and in full bloom. Oh, in a few months it will be beautiful, green and lush. So I don't know if you've made a booking already, but if you haven't and you are our subscriber, please drop us an email and we will send you a discount code so you can get a 10% off for your stay. Yes, so these were our favorite campsites. Are you ready to hear a story about one awful site? However, I don't know if it's fair to say awful. Maybe it wasn't awful really, but we had a bad experience there. We had a really bad experience. So unfortunately this site is in my home country, Poland. I think it still exists as a campsite, and it was close to my hometown, and my hometown is in the middle of nowhere. It's not a touristy area, and this was the only campsite in the area. We were visiting my family and we wanted a place to stop in our motorhome because we wanted to see them, but also we wanted some privacy. So we chose to spend some time in their home with them, and also in the local area on a campsite. Alright, so this was a site by the lake and it sounded perfect, simple, by the lake with the woods. So problems really started even before we arrived, because I gave them a call to ask what it's like with the dogs, because we have a nervous rescue dog here who doesn't like to be basically approached by other dogs. He's afraid of other dogs and he's very nervous. So we are always dreading dogs off lead who run over to him and jump on him and they try to play, but he's not keen. Basically he's not keen on most of the dogs. So whenever we choose a site, we check that dogs must be on the lead and that it's actually policed by someone, because you know what people are like. Most of people ignore that rule, even though it applies on most of the sites. So before we arrived, I called the site and I asked them, what is it like with the dogs on your side? Do they need to be on a lead? And the lady at the reception said, oh yes, in theory they should be on a lead, but if you have a dog and your dog wants to have a run, you can just let it go off the lead. Most of people do that here. It's not a problem. It's a big area. Your dog can be off lead. And I thought, oh my goodness, now we will have to struggle with other dogs being off lead. We still went then. We still booked a pitch because it was in September. It was quite a quiet time. So we thought, okay, maybe it will not be that bad. It wasn't bad with the dogs, really, but this site kind of froze in 1980s. Facilities were really old, really neglected. Everything was sticky with dirt. Probably for me, this is the most important thing when I'm staying on site. It's the facilities and what we have there. And they don't have to be new, but at least I expect them to be clean, for goodness sake, so I'm not terrified when I want to use a toilet or a shower. Yeah, so that was all very old school on this side, which wouldn't be an issue if it was clean. It wasn't clean at all. So when we arrived at the reception, the site was in this lovely area, and potentially it could be perfect for us. You know, the lake, the woods, a lot of space, not too many people on site. But they were playing this awful music at the reception, which kind of spoiled everything for us. So, interestingly, this site has some good reviews, and many people write them good comments and good reviews for their amazing nights by the fire and, you know, singing and dancing together by the fireplace. That could be fantastic for many people, but you know, we like to go to bed early. Even when we are on holiday, maybe we are boring, but we would struggle with that if there were parties actually led by the staff and the owners of the site till early morning. But many people like that. Maybe we just chose the wrong site for us. So this was quite an interesting site, and the worst is still to come. So on our final day, we got stuck in the mud. So we pitched between the trees, and the ground was very soft. There was no hard standing, and we were in a motorhome which was quite heavy, and we couldn't get out. And we were struggling with getting out. We couldn't leave our pitch, and staff didn't help. No one helped us, really. No one was interested. Many people were watching us, including staff. Other campers were watching us like that, you know, thinking, ha ha ha, what are you going to do now? Enjoying the show, basically. And we were struggling. And then one of the neighbors actually reacted and came over to help, and he pulled us from the pitch. He almost burned his clutch. He was, you know, digging under the tires, and then we needed something to put under the tires, and I knocked to the owner's house to ask them for some bricks or some planks, whatever we could, you know, we could put under the tires to get some friction. Yeah, awful. And even, you know, when I actually knocked on their door and they were watching us through the windows, even when I knocked on their door and asked for help and spelled it out, look, we are there, we are in trouble, we need your help, they were not much helpful at all. They were not interested. And the final thing was that they were trying to charge us for electricity. It was only £1 a day, and it was years ago, but I still remember it because it was ridiculous. We were in a motorhome and we had solar panel on the roof. We didn't need a hookup. We didn't connect to their electricity, and they still demanded us to pay for a hookup. And when I said, well, we didn't use your hookup, we didn't use electricity, we have a solar panel, we are off-grid, they said, yeah, well, you didn't use electricity on your pitch, but you used our electricity when you were using a shower and toilets. Those awful grubby toilets, can you imagine? They were trying to charge us for the fact that we switched the light on in the shower block. Anyway, so unfortunately it's the only campsite we've been to in Poland. I don't have any memories or any information about other sites, but it is quite unfortunate that the only site we've been to in Poland has been so horrible. But we enjoyed wild camping in Poland in the summer. That was nice. That was nice. Okay, So these are our stories of 3 the best and 1 slightly worse site, which for us it was let down because of poor customer service, really poor customer service. So when you choose a campsite, do you do your research? Do you plan ahead? Because I assume that most of you go to campsites, you visit holiday parks or campsites. So how do you do it? Do you plan ahead, or do you just turn up and you hope that there will be a pitch? So let me know, what is your camping experience? Do you go camping? Do you go caravanning? I have something to share with you. Something I think you may find it surprising. Okay, so there are 11 thumbs up and 12 people. So I didn't bore you to death yet. Who's still with me? Let me know. Let me know on the chat. Send me a heart. Are you still with me? Send me a heart on the chat if you are still watching, if you are still listening. Maybe you're doing something else and you're listening to me in the background. Who's listening to me in the background, and what are you doing right now? Sue is planning ahead. Okay, so when you plan, what do you check? Or do you go to the sites you've been to before? Or maybe you go to the sites recommended by friends? How do you do it? So how do you plan your holiday on a campsite? So as much as we love caravanning, we live in a caravan, we love motorhomes, we love vans, we are not very keen on tents with Marek. Yeah. And believe it or not, just call me Ben. Hello, the Mrs. Books books it. I drive where I'm told to. Stu, always plan ahead, generally using an internet-based site locator, and check reviews. Then book site directly. That's a good strategy, Stu. So which website do you like? Which website can you recommend? Oh, Andrew is listening. How lovely. How lovely. Thank you for the heart. Yes, so we've been with Marek. We've been camping, or maybe staying on campsites. No way, Damian. So you are playing a game. You are eating second dinner. How naughty of you. Second dinner that late in the evening, and you are still listening to me, and you are still following my bubbling. Well done, Damian. Well done. Yes, so we've been staying on the campsites and in holiday parks since we've met, really. And since we started to, go out together, which was 2006. And in all that time, we spent 1 night in a tent. Have we got any tent lovers here? Do we have viewers who love camping in a tent? If you like tent, if you are staying in a tent, let me know in the chat why you love it. Then I will tell you why we passed on it. But I'm really interested, what are the arguments for staying in a tent? And if you love a tent holidays, why do you like them so much? Stu, pitch up is what I usually use, but it takes money away from the site. Yes, especially the small independent ones need all the money. Yes, very well said. All those websites charge a commission. So this is a really good strategy you have, that you look for a location, you look for a site on a generous, almost like a comparison site, and then to make sure your chosen sites get all the money from you, you book directly with them. Bravo. Well done. Well done. In the name of all the campsites you visit, thank you. Thank you. Is Warden both your full-time job? Just call me Ben. We don't work as wardens. No, we are not wardens. So we pick an area where we like and look at site and reviews. Okay, so you go by area and you write reviews. You read reviews, sorry. Yeah, just call me Ben. Our official job title are campsite supervisors, both of us. And at first we were campsite assistants, but we were not wardens. We do a little bit of warden's job, but we are not wardens. However, it's quite difficult to define a warden's job because many of the things which we do overlap with a traditional warden role, but most of campsites define their own definition, create their own definition of who is a warden and what they do. We definitely work with the warden, we help him, but for me, in my understanding, a warden is the person who deals with the customers, deals with the campers face to face, and he helps them out if there is an issue. This is a person to call when you have a trouble or you need assistance or you have a question. And they are also responsible for security and making sure people respect the quiet time in the evening. So we don't do any of these things. Yeah. I think a warden, being a warden is a bit more demanding comparing to what we do, because we finish work at the exact time, you know, and we know what time we finish work. And really, for a warden on duty, this work doesn't finish. There's no end point. So I'm not sure, for that reason, I'm not sure we would ever apply for a warden job, especially as long as we have a dog. Yeah, so a warden job is a bit different. I would say a bit more challenging, a bit more demanding in terms of time you devote to work. Right, yeah, we read reviews. We read reviews as well. So many of you wrote that you read reviews. Do you read good reviews only, or do you look at bad reviews as well? Ah, and what about tents? Do we have anyone who likes staying in a tent? Do we have any canvas lovers? I think the only tent I could enjoy is a bell tent, and we have some lovely bell tents here to hire, to rent in Mill Park. These are beautiful big tents with heating, with a kettle. Right, so I will give you some time, those of you who perhaps enjoy camping in a tent, before I tell you what I think about sleeping in a tent. Right. I really like this idea of booking the pitch directly with the site. Hi Kevin, hi, sorry came on late. Yes, we are good. We are good. Oh, when are you coming? Kevin, when are you coming? Is that March? You said last time we saw you. I think you mentioned March. Oh, I love it. It's getting busy. People finally start to come here. I tell you what, winter on the site is really lonely and quiet. And it's just so nice when the site gets busier. And we also see that, you know, people enjoy results of our work behind the scenes. It's really nice to see people on site, relaxing and enjoying the site. So I'm really looking forward to March and the opening. Really, really nice. Hopefully we will see many of you, the viewers of Freedom Seekers. This is the best. This is like creme a la creme of running this channel and making videos for you, meeting you in person. This is the best bit of fun. Ben, what is everyone's essential caravan accessory or caravan hack? This is a really good question. This is a really good question. Thank you, Ben. So, we have had tents, trailer tents and caravans, but never had a motorhome. Trailer tents are amazing. They are so British. I've never seen a trailer tent anywhere else. We had the pleasure of filming a trailer tent, I think last year or 2 years ago. We had a lovely family who came with convoy. They had an older convoy. Was it convoy or something like that? Conway? Can't remember now. Convey? I'm sure, so you will know. But this company doesn't exist anymore, and it's a shame. A trailer tent is something fantastic, and those of you who don't know, maybe our viewers from Poland, you may not know what a trailer tent is. Google it and check it out. It is an amazing invention. Kevin, we are coming to Woolacombe in the end of March, but we'll hopefully see you soon. Yes, we will be here, Kevin. We will be here. Stu, read both sides of the reviews, often quite a contrast. Yes, I agree, but read between the lines, as a bad review is often just a disgruntled site user. That's a funny word, disgruntled. Yes, yeah, I'm with you on this one. For us, I would push it even further and say choosing the right site for you is such an individual thing. There is no one site fits all. And I would never say, for example, that this site where I live and work, which I absolutely love, and I would choose this site for my own holiday, I would never say, oh, this is amazing for everyone, because there is no such site. It's amazing for us. We would choose it as our holiday destination with Marek and Diesel. But I know that it may not suit people who have different preferences and like to, enjoy spending their time in a different way than we do. And I would even say that often a bad review, something which was a problem in the eyes of another camper, it will actually be something positive in your eyes, because we read reviews of the site and someone gave them 1 star and said, my dog had to be on a lead and everyone went to bed at 10 and the site was very quiet in the evening, there was no live entertainment. And I thought, this is perfect, this is where we are going, this is our site. Yeah, exactly, you can't please everyone, so I agree with you. But also there are so many sites, and it's really up to the owners what culture they create on site, and whether they I think people really attract the owners and staff. They really attract people similar to them. So everyone, if the owner likes parties and live entertainment, they will have a lot of this on their site, and they will encourage and attract party crowd. People who like to enjoy themselves together, and like this site in Poland, sitting by the fire till the morning and singing together. And those who prefer peace and quiet, and for them relaxation is enjoying nature and long walks and so on, they will have a completely different campsite. But that's a beauty, that there are so many of them. But I would say you have to spend some time on your research. But often I think, especially in the high season, in the summer, people just want a pitch. And if you left the booking till late and you are stuck, you may end up on a site which is not for you, and it doesn't meet your expectations, doesn't meet your requirements, and it could be awful. You could have a nightmare holiday if you are on the site which is not right for you and your family. Yeah, so I congratulate everyone who takes time and plan ahead. And do you have Ben asked us about essential caravan accessory. What is your essential caravan accessory? You've been all quiet on that, but maybe it's worth sharing. What is my essential caravan accessory? I think we have quite a few because we live in a caravan for most of the year. But what is essential? I think for me essential, because I love home comforts. Where is it? I will stand up and bring my essential accessory, which is here. This is an essential accessory for me. This is a thermostat connected to our heater, which regulates the temperature in a caravan. This is my essential accessory. It's a wireless thermostat connected to our heater. Yes, because for me, happy caravaning and comfortable caravan is a caravan with the right temperature. And that means for most of the year it's the same temperature, so they are not too cold, not too hot. And it's good for the dog as well. So for me, I can't imagine staying in a cold caravan or a motorhome. This is probably why I'm not keen on tents. However, when we were staying in the tent, we had a tiny tent. We didn't have any heating. It was in May and we were so cold at night, and we only lasted one night in a tent, and I said to Mark, I can't do that anymore, and we rented a room. We left our tent and rented a room because I needed heating, I needed hot water, and I needed a bit of space. Yeah, so what is yours essential caravan accessory, everyone, those of you who go touring? And the caravan hack. What is my caravan hack? I have a few. I probably have a lot of storage hacks. But I think something which I would like to share, and I think it's good practice, especially in a caravan, in a small space. My hack is to tidy up the caravan in the evening before you go to bed, which means emptying the sink, putting everything away in its place. So when you wake up to lovely, clean space. Because if your caravan is messy, and I tell you this, it took me I had to do a live stream to notice how cluttered those shelves were. I don't know if any of you noticed, but last weekend they were really cluttered. And I watched a replay. I wanted to oh, just call me Ben. My essentials is flip-flops. Yes. Easy on and easy off. That and a dairy milk and chocolates. Good. For me, I'm not a flip-flop fan, but I like clogs. Yeah, so clutter. So I don't know if you noticed, those of you who watched the live stream last weekend, there is a big improvement of these shelves. So my hack is to keep your caravan clean and tidy, because it looks bigger, it's nicer, you don't get annoyed looking for stuff, and generally clutter in a caravan is much more annoying than clutter at home. Would you agree? Is it possible to keep caravan tidy when you go caravanning? How do you manage that? I would say it's super tricky in such a small space to maintain order, and it takes a lot of discipline, especially when you live in a caravan for most of the year like we do. And one of my friends who lives in a caravan too told me once, oh, living in a caravan is so liberating. And I thought, yeah, in many aspects, absolutely, but definitely not in the aspect of housekeeping or caravan keeping. It takes a lot of discipline to keep your caravan in order. But a clean caravan, a tidy caravan is a happy caravan. Would you agree? So, Sue, you wrote earlier that you never had a motorhome, which is, oh, you agree with me, you are on board with that. Yeah. And So before I finish off my new thought, because I have a train of thoughts in my tiny head. So you wrote that you never had a motorhome, and good news for you is you don't have to buy a motorhome to travel in a motorhome. You've never thought about hiring one? I can recommend a really good hire company in Exeter. I'm not sure where. Oh, you are from Stoke. This is probably a long way from Exeter. But you can hire a motorhome. So everyone who thinks, oh, they are expensive, they look like fun, but they are so expensive, and yes, they are very expensive to buy, but you can hire a motorhome for a weekend or a week. Yeah, that's good fun. I think if you haven't tried, you don't have to buy, you can hire. Yeah. So you can hire from a company, and many owners of motorhomes hire their private motorhomes to help with the upkeep. So you can use a company, like a big company which has many motorhomes, or you could use one of the sites which kind of link you with motorhome owners who are happy to share their motorhome with you. Really good, really good. What else was I going to say? I looked at the sink. Yes, this is actually a tidying everything up in the evening. This is a habit from a motorhome, because when we were traveling and we were doing wild camping, which means sleeping in places other than campsites and those areas I mentioned earlier. It was, yes, they are not cheap. It's not cheap, I agree with you, it's not cheap to hire. I would say a day in a motorhome, or yeah, to hire a caravan for a night costs similar money to stay in a hotel. So a day in a caravan, or a day in a hotel, or a night in a motorhome, or a night in a hotel will cost you more or less the same. We are talking about nicer hotels, not the cheapest hotels. Yeah, but I always find it surprising. I meet people who say, oh, we've been saving for a motorhome, we really want to buy a motorhome, and we've never had one. And I just say, why don't you hire one to check if that's for you, if you like this type of traveling, and if you're going to enjoy it. Why would you throw, I don't know, 20, 40, 50,000 and buy something you don't know about? And then they say, no, we will not hire because it's too expensive to hire. So, you find it expensive to hire for a few days, but you find it affordable to buy? I would recommend trying out first. Okay. Yes, putting everything away in the evening and sorting your van in the evening is a habit from our motorhome trips, because basically before we went to bed we had to make sure that in the emergency we are ready to drive away, that nothing will, be falling over, that the driver's seat is clear, there is no clutter, you can easily get behind the wheel. Yeah, that's the other side of van life. But this is not a topic for tonight. I think tonight we're probably getting ready to finish and say good night and say have a good week or have a good weekend. Because in our world of living upside down, tomorrow we begin our weekend with Marek. So we've been working hard during the normal weekend. And it's quite amazing because, sometimes friends send me a photo of what they are doing. They are going out, they're having a drink, and we are working. And tomorrow, but there is another side of this. Tomorrow, most of people will have to get up and go to work, and we don't have to. We are off. So yeah, having Mondays off is lovely. So we will be off on Monday and Tuesday. My plan is to shoot a video for you, so you have something to watch next weekend. I'm sorry there was no video for you this weekend, but we are adjusting to the new rhythm, and we've been quite busy with taking Diesel to the vets a few times and taking care of him. And generally we are adjusting to the new routine of being back at work. Yeah, but we will do our best to keep the content coming, so every weekend you have a new video. Okay, thank you very much. Who's here with me, who's still listening? 11 thumbs up, thank you very much. And 11 people after an hour. We are getting better and better. I hope you've had a good time. I had a lovely time talking to you. So thank you very much for all the contributions on the chat. Thank you for your ideas and your questions. It's really nice to see that many of you come back to those lives, and that we start to gather regular audience. So thank you. We really appreciate that. We are looking forward to welcoming you here in Mill Park. And remember, before you book, drop us an email to get a 10% discount for your stay. I really appreciate that, Stu, that you are booking directly with sites. Yes, it's not easy to stay in the business, and we know of many sites who unfortunately either had to reduce staff or close. This is really, really sad. So thank you everyone, thank you for supporting the sector. Thank you very much. Finished dinner, still playing game, and still with you, God. Thank you very much, Demon. Megatron, we are about to go home. We are about to go to bed. It's the end. But thank you very much for at least saying hello. You missed our post. We posted on Facebook, and definitely on Facebook and YouTube what time we will start. It was a bit late. It was a bit of a short announcement, short notice this week. We'll try to be more organized next time. Thank you very much. And if you watch a replay on another day, you can still comment. And I hope I will meet you live next time, whenever we do live, hopefully next Sunday. Please share your ideas. If you have any questions, if you would like to see a video about a particular aspect of either working on site or living in a caravan, please share it with us, either here under this video or on Facebook, whatever is more convenient for you. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend, and I hope to see you live on Sunday, next Sunday. Take care everyone, and thank you for a lovely evening. Bye bye.